smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some ditties. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to run. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys. Miss Liz in the house. That's right. We were here this morning. Now we're here this afternoon, and we'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. That's right. We have 3 shows in one today. I have an incredible Mitch Webb in the back, and we're going to talk about his tea. And his tea today is symptoms, education, and regulation. That is the tea we are serving in the house. But before we get started, you guys know how Miss Liz rolls. Get over to all those platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Lemonade, Blue Sky, all of those good ones. If I haven't mentioned them, Miss Liz is on all the other platforms as well. Check out also the podcast apps: Podbean, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those good platforms. Miss Liz on those as well. Give those a like, follow, and subscribe. And check in the description, because Miss Liz does put the information of all the guests. If you're looking to find them, the information's in the description for all my guests. Also, jump over to babyboomers.org. Miss Liz has been partnered with them for about 3 years now. If you're looking to be on different podcasts and Miss Liz is not the flavor for you, you can check out over 50 different podcasts over there and get yourself featured on there as well. So let's get started with disclaimer and then a beautiful intro. And then we're going to get Mitch in here and we're going to have some fun and we're going to spill some tea. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Teatime live show. Miss Liz's Teatime is a global platform dedicating to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I, Miss Liz, is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Teatime show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Teatime platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guests, viewers, and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners' and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Teatime with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of the discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com or visit my link tree at Miss Liz's Teatime. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Teatime with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. Well, welcome to Teatime with Miss Liz, where every conversation reminds us that true healing isn't always about finding another answer. It often begins by learning to listen. Today, we're welcoming someone whose own journey through burnout became the foundation for helping thousands of others reclaim their health, their energy, and their lives. Please join me in welcoming Mitch Webb, a somatic and holistic health coach, nervous system regulation specialist, speaker, and educator. After years of pushing through exhaustion and searching for quick fixes that nearly truly addressed the root cause, Mitch discovers something life-changing. The body is never working against us. It is always communicating with us. Today, Mitch helps entrepreneurs, professionals, high performers, and individuals living with chronic symptoms reconnect with their bodies, regulate their nervous systems, reduce stress, and create lasting wellness from the inside out. His tea is symptoms, education, and regulation. Today, we'll explore burnout and recovery, nervous system regulation, chronic stress and healing, the mind-body connection, and creating sustainable wellness. Mitch reminds us that healing doesn't begin by fighting your body. It begins by understanding what your body has been trying to tell you all along. So grab your cup and join us for a meaningful conversation filled with compassion, education, healing, and real life tea, truth, experience, and awareness. Let me get Mitch in here and let's spill some tea. Welcome, Mitch.
Liz, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you here, Mitch. So, Mitch, let's get to know you a little bit before we get into the burnout and in your story and all that. Who was Mitch as a little guy and who's Mitch now?
Oh gosh, Mitch is a little guy. It's funny. My therapist asked me that yesterday, and what I remembered was, I love nature. I love sports. I played, football. I played everything that any ball involved: football, basketball, baseball, wrestling. Eventually, and what I remember when she asked that question was playing in the woods all day long. I was the generation where you got kicked out first thing in the morning and came back at dark. And I love rocks. I would just bring a backpack with me, and I'd bring a bunch of rocks out of the creek, and then I'd try to go sell them at the local jewelry store at the mall.
Well, that's a first. I haven't heard of anybody selling rocks at the jewelry store. That's a first.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever sold one, but I was hell bent on doing that. So.
And who are you today, Mitch?
I'm a health coach, and I guess my specialty is the nervous system, and I love helping people, and I love connection, and I've been on this journey for 20 years. I've been kind of chewed up and spit up by the wellness industry. I think there's a lot of good things that we can find, but for me, it kind of taught me that I was broken, that there was something to fix. I was always trying to optimize, putting a lot of pressure on myself, trying different supplements and diets. Practitioners, doctors, protocols, and looking for something to heal me. And what I learned is that seeking, that trying to fix yourself and trying to figure out what's wrong really reinforces that there's a tiger at the door, that there's a threat. And my nervous system got very sensitized. I had a lot of symptoms where I couldn't eat food, had very high anxiety, lots of fatigue, gut issues, you name it. And healing happened when I quit treating myself like a project and started focusing on getting my life back and doing the things that I love.
Well, I think sometimes we get down that rabbit hole, right, where we just got to fix, and then we end up losing ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
So what led you from burnout into becoming a somatic health coach?
I was always looking for answers. I think I exhausted everything in the health industry, all the diets, all the supplements, protocols, detox, fasting, everything that the wellness industry has kind of went through in the last 10, 20 years. The biohacking was a big thing for me. I was everything from jumping in ice cold water all the time to, not eating for 7 or 8 days. I thought if I found a perfect diet or the perfect supplement, I would heal myself. And I found the nervous system healing and trauma work, and I didn't know what trauma was at all. I can't believe I'm in this field now. With my past, I was kind of a wild party man and just trying to have a good time, and got a lot of symptoms along the way. And I turned nervous system healing into another way to fix myself. I basically reinforced a lot of the perfection, the all or nothing type of approach that I learned as a survival response when I was a kid to get love and attention from other people. And it was just a new, shinier way of trying to fix and optimize and figure out what was wrong with me. And healing stopped. All these things helped me. There's nothing wrong with nervous system protocols and healing trauma. I do that in my work, but my clients that I work with, like myself, they're sick of making themselves a project and using healing as a part-time or full-time job, and they just want their life back. And ironically, that is the medicine, is doing the things that we love with the symptom, teaching our system that the symptoms are safe, that we're safe. And there's that takes time, but every little drop of safety leads to the nervous system feeling safe.
Well, Mitch, we have a couple questions coming in. I'd like to get those out to you. The first one comes in from Jeff Lamb, and it's, what was the first sign that made you realize burnout was affecting your health?
Oh man, when I think of burnout, and the first sign, incredible amounts of fatigue. For the longest time, I felt like my body was on fire. I think you come into this work in one of maybe three ways. Either you don't feel anything at all, you feel numb, and you wonder like, what are people talking about when they say anxiety? Or you come in with your hair on fire, your body on fire, and then maybe the third option is kind of a mix of both, and that's nervous system dysregulation. Could be sensitization. That's a different kind of topic, but you're kind of oscillating between massive amounts of activation, anxiety. I think now I don't even like those words. I think it's fear, it's grief, it's fear, grief, sadness, anger. It's unprocessed emotions. That's what the symptoms tend to be if I had to really boil it down. But those symptoms, I thought they were a bad thing. I was trying to find a way to fix them, put a Band-Aid on it, take a pill, make it go away. And that just makes them get louder and louder. And, the healing is turning towards those and processing those emotions and showing the system that we're safe. But, I would say fatigue, lack of sleep, waking up tired, no matter how much I'd slept, insomnia, those are all symptoms that let me know I was in burnout.
Burnout, it comes in different symptoms, right, for everybody. And, sometimes we're just like, we're just tired. We're just, it's just an off day, but we're really slowly burning ourselves out. And with so much overwhelmed in the world, like there's so much coming at us all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody's got a fast pill to fix us or a fast solution to fix. And then we're like, okay, well, let's jump down this rabbit hole. Let's go down that rabbit hole. And then we realize like it's just even making us worse. Like it's just burning us out even more. We have another question here from another Jeffrey. Is how can someone tell if their nervous system is out of balance?
Typically if the nervous system is always changing. Healing doesn't mean we don't have fear or anxiety, or we don't have a sleepless night here and there, but dysregulation really means we're kind of stuck. And so we can be stuck in a lot of activation. That would be a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of anxiety, if you will. We could be stuck in a freeze response, more of a shutdown, fatigue. Another symptom that I thought about while we were kind of in between chatting is rumination, and that's a symptom of being in a freeze. Like that's telling me that what's going on in the body is so intense that we're going to live in our head and we're going to think our way to safety. And so it's kind of a way of burning off the emotion that we are not allowing, that we're unaware of, that we don't have the capacity to feel or process. And so the brain there's nothing wrong. We're not broken. The brain is just doing what it can to survive. And it's trying to think of and it's anticipate anything that's going to happen in the future, try not to repeat the past. Those are some of the things that I dealt with. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like overstimulation, right? Like the brain is just like, give me a break. Like, how much do you want me to do? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, we have
always trying to protect us. These are all survival responses. One of the first things I talk to my clients about is, your body's, it's not broken. It's just, and this work is all about awareness. It's not about another protocol. It's just, can we learn to observe the way that we are relating to ourselves and our symptoms, and we change how we relate to them and have a new opportunity to meet these symptoms in a new way. That's when the symptoms relax and we can heal from those.
Well, we have another Jeffrey here. We got all Jeffs in the house.
That's funny.
We have Jeffrey Bowman here. And Mitch, your journey from burnout to helping others is incredibly inspiring. What was the biggest mindset shift that changed everything for you?
I'd say I had someone on my podcast, Rooted Conversations on YouTube. She came on, she was talking about nervous system sensitization. That's when we've been a really high level of activation symptoms for a long period of time. The brain is constantly scanning for threat. And she told me, what keeps us stuck in sensitization, that is trying to fix it and trying to figure it out. And that made my jaw drop. I realized that's what I was doing as a health coach. I was really good at figuring people out. I was really good at fixing them. And little did I know that I was reinforcing that problem. It basically tells us, our nervous system, that there's a tiger standing at the door. We're locked in a cage with a tiger, and we can't make it go away because we can't fix it. We can't figure it out. And it's like if you were locked in a cage with a tiger that was wanting to eat you, your nervous system would be going kind of crazy too. And so I had to learn to quit trying to make myself a project, quit trying to make healing a full-time job, and learn to accept and allow, learn to live my life, do the things that I was afraid to do because I had symptoms. I was waiting for some outcome. I was waiting to get better before I started to live. And so I got in touch with my values. Those would be things like freedom, connection, helping others, my health. And the things I wanted to do was, like, I wanted to work out again. I wanted to eat good food. I wanted to go on vacation with my wife. I wanted to hang out with my buddies and have a beer again. And I was waiting until the fatigue and the anxiety went away. And so once I could see that what I really wanted is my life back, well, I just started living. And I had all this years and years of self-development and therapy and trauma work. And that just, it really clicked. And that doesn't mean like overnight, but things started happening really quick. I got food sensitivities came back, my fatigue lifted, I was able to sleep, I got off of medication, and now I'm traveling and running a business and helping people and doing my podcast. And it came from that shift of do the thing that you love with the symptoms, and life will catch up, or the symptoms will learn that you're safe every time.
Right? It's when we start to slow ourselves down that we actually hear ourselves and hear our bodies, because our bodies are talking to us all the time. We're just too busy. We're just, we'll get to it later. It's like a voicemail, right? Oh, we'll get to that voicemail next.
Yeah, definitely.
We have a question here from Mac, and it is, what's the biggest myth about burnout recovery?
Oh, wow. So I had Dr. Mickle on my podcast, and I got him on because there's a girl named Raylan. She does a mind body podcast, talks about chronic symptoms. And I saw him on there, and I stayed up one night till 2 o'clock in the morning watching this podcast. And he said, hey, people in the chronic disease community believe that which can come from burnout. They think that they need to rest more, and rest is certainly a part of the work, and learning to do that and not shame ourselves if we feel like we need to be productive, or that rest is, somehow, not a good thing for us. And what he said was, sometimes fatigue is body being bored, body boredom, meaning I'm not doing the things that I love. And that's when my body is just bored. It's saying like, this sucks. I want to do more. And that was at the same time that I learned about living life with the symptoms. And that was kind of a push for me, and reinforced this belief that I need to go live my life, start doing the things I love with the people I love, and the symptoms will get better. And they did.
Wow. Body boredom. I like that, because we've never really talked about the body being bored,
Yeah, I mean, all the things that you want to do, you're putting that on hold for your healing journey. And man, the pain of that, like, that so many of my clients, when I changed my messaging and I quit talking and educating, and there's so much information out there, we're drowning in it. And when I started talking about, you just want your freaking life back, that's when people started reaching out. Clients started showing up. They don't want to know how to regulate. They don't need another protocol or another, diet or whatever. They need to start living. And that's the medicine. You are the medicine. And the body is communicating with us. And not to say that we can't be tired and we can't rest, but sometimes I'd say challenge that, do the things that you love, and quit making life so small. That tends to happen when we have chronic symptoms. And when we start, being willing to believe something else, to change our beliefs around that and start living our life, like, again, that's the medicine. That's what helped me.
Right? We get so busy just trying to live that we forget about living. Mm-hmm. We have a question here from Cody, and it is, Mitch, have you noticed a common pattern among people struggling with chronic stress and burnout?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is what I do. I have to slow down and teach myself and my clients the pattern. And the pattern is what happens when we feel stressed. What do you do? How do you relate to that? And one of the first things I noticed, I would be in my head and I'd be trying to figure out what's going on. And I'd be researching and I'd be trying to fix myself. And if you got something going on and you start searching on YouTube and on Instagram, the wellness industry has lots of options. And, that reinforces that there's a problem, and they're hopping from one protocol to another, from one course to another, from one practitioner, doctor, getting more labs, trying more supplements, more gut protocols. And they're wondering, why they can't get better, because they're trying so hard, and it feels productive. It feels like we're doing something about it. And that is the pattern that keeps us stuck in the sensitized state with chronic symptoms getting louder and louder. And when we can see that pattern, ultimately it's OCD. It's compulsively trying to make our symptoms go away and managing how we feel. And it feels like we're doing the right thing because that's what everybody's out there screaming and telling you that that's what you need to do. And that is the biggest myth. And when we can see the pattern and we can stop interacting in it, when I learned this with my coach, I was using supplements and hormones to go to the cabinet, of my 50 million supplements that I had, and I'd learned to muscle test and, understand how I'm feeling that day, and then respond to it with supplements and hormones and all these things and the right diet and foods and avoid this and this person. And I was managing how I felt. And so that doesn't mean that I don't take supplements. I'm on hormone replacement as well. It doesn't mean don't stop taking that if that's a benefit to you. It means quit making it your job to control how you feel. And so I basically put that in a pill organizer instead of walking to the supplement cabinet every day and trying to decide how I felt. And that took me 2 weeks, and I freaked out, man. I spun out really hard, and I was really upside down. All the fear that I was controlling to feel safe came up, and I was able to meet that and move through that and trust. And when I did the pill organizer after a couple of weeks, I was like, damn, I really can see how this is stressing me out and how much better I got by letting that go and seeing that it wasn't that big of a deal. But to be taking the supplements, they weren't causing as big of an issue as the control and the fear was. And so when I let go of that, we're bringing on safety, we're bringing on trust as we meet these emotions and we process that energy is leaving the body. Our body can rest. Our allostatic load, which is kind of like stress piling up in the body, it lowers. We feel more present in the moment, and we're actually feeling safe. And I think that's what we're looking for.
First, I want to get into what is a somatic health coach, because we have a question here from Andrew, and it's what inspired you to become a somatic health coach? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. That's marketing. I've tried to understand.
Somatic.
Yeah, it's somatic is like somatic experiencing. It's a way of doing trauma work. It just basically means body up. So it would be something like, when I get stressed, instead of going into the story and telling my therapist or my client telling me what's going on, we may pause and we may orient, using our senses to kind of be here in the moment, and we'd pay attention to what's happening in the body instead of going into the head and the story. We would say, oh man, my heart's beating really fast, and we may put our hand over our heart and feel that. When we have symptoms, we tend to want to run away from it or make it go away. That's fight, flight. It's understandable. The body's in survival. Instead, healing happens when we move towards those emotions and those sensations in the body. And so I was really excited at the time when I gave myself that label of a somatic coach. And to be honest with you, I don't know what to call myself anymore. I have so many different tools and modalities. I just call myself a coach or a nervous system coach because that is the main tool that I use. But the body-based stuff was something I was really excited about. I was in a mentorship with Irene Lyon and learning, just getting so excited about somatic. And at the time, there was like a battle between top down and bottom up. And for those listening, that just means like body-based therapy and brain-based therapy. And which one is better? I would say in the past, like CBT and DBT is revisiting the past and re-traumatizing the body, and working with what's happening in the body brings us into the present moment. But like now I could argue it either way. Like I do top down, brain-based, brain retraining type stuff, working with beliefs, working with how we relate to our symptoms, accepting and allowing the symptoms. That's very much a cognitive thing. And then I blend the bottom up of what's going on in the body and and moving with sensations and symptoms and different feelings in the body. And what I would say now is you cannot do trauma healing or healing at all if you're not connected with the brain, the body, the heart. Like, it's all one thing, and to say it's one or the other is stupid. It's whatever door is open. And if you're trying to chase, or if everything's a hammer or everything's a nail and you're a hammer, and the only way you see the body is through the brain or through the nervous system or through the body, you're completely missing the person in front of you. And the door that's open is what we work with. And sometimes people don't have capacity to work with their thoughts or work with what's going on in the body. It can be way overwhelming for them. But the door is open always if you can just be with them and hold space. And that means there's thoughts, there's beliefs, there's stories, there's images that come up for people, there's sensations, there's feelings, there's symptoms, there's tension that you can just watch somebody. And that's kind of the thing that was my sensitivity that I thought, man, I was weak, is my superpower, because I can feel people. You can call that empath or whatever, but it's just being in a space, even remotely. That's the work I do. It's a quantum field, and we're connecting and we're connected and we're co-regulating, meaning our nervous systems are kind of working together. And it's just, if you can be human and be willing to listen and slow down and not be some guru or some expert or bring out some special tool that you like. The nervous system is the map, and we can trust whatever is here now is meant for that person.
Well, I think it's important what you said too, right? Treating trauma from the inside out, because that's what a trauma is. It's inside of us. Yeah. It's in our bodies. It's not on the outside. Like, we can talk about the past, the present, and the future, but it's inside us. It's how we deal with each of the traumas, right? And every person has a different trauma and a different feeling and emotion. And I can get that from you, because I can get the energy from you as well, because I can feel it, Mitch. That you're the energy kind of worker, that you can sense not through words and speaking, but through the energy of the person that is connecting with their own bodies, because you're working with the person in front of you. You're not working with the person beside you. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I'm like psychic or I know what's going on. I think we all have a little bit of that going on. But it's just like, can I be curious with what I'm feeling in my body and what I'm seeing on the screen? And can I ask, instead of it's just meeting these things in a different way? Because at some point we were fully ourselves, alive and messy and human. And somewhere along the way, we learned that that's not allowed. And when that comes up in a session, we're just going, oh, what's going on in your chest? Like, is that, I feel tightness. What are you feeling? Or I feel a buzzing, or I feel this or that. And at one point it used to scare me when I was learning this work, and I'm like, what's happening to me right now? But it's a tool. It's just like I don't know. It's like a GPS, and it doesn't tell me the answers, but it gives me a clue to just be curious. Yeah. And just get to know the person, right? Because that's what healing is. We focus so much on, I just want to fix myself. There's something broken in me. There's something that needs to be fixed. When the body itself is not broken, like you said, right, Mitch? It's overstimulated. It's just overwhelmed, and it's tired, and it just wants you to start enjoying life again, enjoying the small things. We focus so much on the big stuff and the big success, and high performers are doing this a lot, right? They're ignoring the burnout symptoms and signs. Why do high performers often do that, Mitch?
Oh, because well, first off, I want to back up and say society is stressful and overstimulating. It's look at social media and politics and our shitty food and water supply, and constantly be connected to our phones and working a 9-to-5 job and having to provide. And that puts a lot of pressure on our system, and we're not aware of it. And so that there's just a baseline of stimulation right there. And a high performer is someone that is dependent. People are dependent on them. There's a lot of pressure on them. Maybe there's people that work for them, or people that are responsible, their family members, their friends, their communities. They're in these high pressure jobs, and they never come to me and say, I have chronic symptoms. And that's a completely different type of person that I work with. They'll say, I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed. I have a lot of pressure on me. And they're doing everything that they can to survive. And that's what every system is doing when it comes to see me. whether they're aware of the insomnia and the gut issues and the anxiety and the, all the things that they're dealing with, they are aware of, and maybe they connect their value to their productivity, and that's their worth. And if they're not, they're shaming themselves. And so they're burning the candle at both ends. They're overwhelmed in their relationships and at work. And there's a shame to let somebody know that, or to think that they're weak because they're having human symptoms. And so a lot of what I do is just education, awareness. Everything about this work is just awareness, and teaching them, hey, you're not broken, and slowing things down and starting to pay attention to what's going on. Symptoms are our body trying to get our attention, and that overwhelm, it makes sense. It's par for the course. And so can we slow down, notice the tension, notice the overwhelm, notice the inability to sit still? It takes capacity. It's kind of like to do that, to be with this, to come out of the head and into the body and be willing to observe these things. And so we may just start with working with their thoughts, but it's kind of, capacity is kind of like going in the gym and trying to deadlift 500 pounds day one. Like, we got to start with the bar. We got to start with tiny seconds. That's why I offer 30-minute sessions. Sometimes people need 15 minutes, and that's too much. And that's why people can get missed in therapy. And also people can get missed because they look fine. I was the dude that was athletic, that was doing well in life and had a great wife and friends, and every practitioner and doctor and person I worked with told me to get out of the office, that there's nothing wrong with me. You look like you're fine. And meanwhile, I was dying inside. And so I got really freaking good at describing how I was feeling. And that's a trauma response in itself, and so people get missed. People don't understand. We glorify the person that's burning it at both ends and making tons of money and whatever that may be. And a lot of times it can be a trauma response, the perfection, the all or nothing, the intellectualization, living in our head and thinking our way to safety. And so we have to really slow things down and see these patterns, and that's going to bring up a lot to see that. So that's why we go really slow. And I haven't met anybody that doesn't have some form of trauma. And if they're willing to see that, again, society creates that. Our conditioning growing up creates that. And at some point it catches up, and we have to deal with that. And we are the medicine. There's not anybody out there that can heal you like you heal you, when you're willing to meet you and be with the parts of you that we pushed away, and allow the emotions to come up. And again, it's slow. It's not sexy. It's not this quick fix and Band-Aid protocol that everybody wants to sell you out there. And so sometimes that's tough. But when you tried all that stuff, you come down here to this world, and this is where real healing happens.
Well, I always tell people when they say I can fix you in 30 days, I'm just like, yeah, and you can take 30 seconds and go the other way, because that's impossible.
Yeah, come do my weekend retreat, and we're going to do breath work until we pass out, and you're going to feel great afterwards. No, thank you. You
might feel great for that weekend, but you're going to go back and you're still going to have to deal with the healing. Like, trauma takes a lifetime. It's not something that gets fixed in 30 seconds or 30 days or 30 minutes or, but you have to take the baby steps. You have to take those small steps. It's like you said, going to the gym, starting off with 5 pounds instead of 500 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then you slowly work yourself up. We have a question here from Adventure Show is, can small lifestyle changes have a big impact on overall wellness?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it. Small is the way. You talk about, doing the 500 pounds, that was me. There's a concept we call too much too soon, too little too late. I was doing, that's what I did, is I learned about trauma work, and I learned about all these hacking protocols, and I threw the kitchen sink at myself, and then I'd shame myself for not getting better, and all it was doing was overwhelming myself. And so small changes for the win. Again, I was a health coach, and I used to help. I had a diet for everything, every symptom you could imagine. And man, that's a lot of stress. That's I don't even think that's the small change is like 70% of the time, eat good, take care of yourself. That's about all I tell anybody now. I'm not getting into diets and perfect protocols and supplements. It's like, can you get outside and do the things that you love, and be willing to slow down and meet yourself every now and then. And, I tell them, I don't give out homework. I don't give out protocols. I don't do any of that stuff. We do a little bit of work when we're together, and go live your freaking life. I mean, that's the small change I tell people to do.
I like that, Mitch. Go live your life. Get out of here. Go enjoy yourselves. Life is precious, and we take so much for granted. Our health, our wellness, and I like that you mentioned that the brain, the body, and the heart, because there's so many wellness coaches out there that will only say, oh, well, we're going to work with the brain. Oh, we're going to work with the body. Oh, we're going to work with the heart. They're not working with all three.
Yeah. It's just reductionist. It's trying to, I don't know, be an expert or look cool. It's kind of an ego thing. I've done it though. I can't shame it too much. But it's all connected. That's just how the world works.
Well, Mitch, how does stress affect long-term health?
I mean, that's everything. That's what causes health issues. I think what we call aging is just an accumulation of trauma and stress and the unwillingness to look at it. It's unconscious. We got to bring the unconscious and the survival responses that were keeping us safe, quote unquote, into the consciousness, and we got to be willing to work that and work with that and meet it. And stress is everything. That's what I don't think we age. And I'm 40 years old this year, and I'm in the best health I've ever been. When I was 20, I was certainly nowhere near as vital, and I didn't sleep. And, I was burning the candle at both ends and propping myself up with everything I get my hands on. And that is a very understandable approach to chronic stress. And that's what leads to disease. I don't think that, certainly there are genetic things that I think are rare. I think it's all stress. And and I talked to my functional medicine doctor about this, who's my friend as well. And, there's stressors out there, there's disease, and there's environmental stuff, but here's the thing, our bodies are so damn resilient, and they want to heal. And I can see that with my wife. When we were living in a house that had moldy home, one of the Clemson University said it's one of the most moldy homes they've seen. It was like lots of black mold, and we weren't aware of it. We were renting, and she didn't have any issues. She didn't have the trauma that I had growing up either. She hadn't been in car accidents and falling out of windows, and just being a wild man that I was. And so her system was more resilient. Whenever COVID came around, I got long haul COVID 3 times in a row. I do not even believe in that really as much anymore. It's more of, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. That was just showing the system was overloaded. That it's the same thing that I see in the people that I work with who have, histamine and MCAS stuff and POTS. And I dealt with all that stuff, chronic fatigue and insomnia and gut issues. It's all trauma. It's all stress. And, that bucket fills up, and whatever tips us over, we tend to put all our eggs in that basket and think that's the thing that hurt us. And we form an identity around it, and we get into these groups and we get all pissed off and talk about our problems. And, that's just, it's bullshit. It's, to whoever's going through that, I feel for you. I've been there, I've done it. And I'm not talking from a shaming point of view. I'm saying I have lived that world. I've done the histamine diets. I've done the fasting protocols. I've done all the functional medicine lab tests and treating myself like a porcupine. And it doesn't do anything except make you worse.
Well, when you mentioned the long haul COVID, they told me I got it twice and that I'm going to have it for life. I don't believe in it as well. I just believe that our bodies, because everybody that was in this house was going in and out during COVID time all the time. I was the only one that was stuck in the house, and I'm the one that got the COVID. Like, I was so mad at everybody. I was just like seriously, it has to be inside my body. My system is the weakest in this house because none of yous got it, but I got it.
Yeah. My wife didn't get it at all either. I got it 3 times. I couldn't eat. I was, bedridden 3 times in a row, 3 years in a row. And it's all the other stuff that I went through and the childhood trauma and all that stuff just piling up. And we don't get taught at an early age. We do if we're lucky. And I think that's changing, but we don't get taught how to relate to that stuff and deal with that stuff. We get taught to shut up. And I got dismissed and pushed away and told to suck it up and don't be a bitch as a guy. And, you can't have certain emotions, and parts of you aren't allowed. And these things start stacking up. And then we have something where the world stops and there's a disease of fear going around, and it's like fear on steroids, and absolutely your body's going to go into shutdown and panic, and we put a label on it and blah, blah, blah. But, the work is to recognize that and to start to turn towards those things and be willing to meet yourself and love yourself, and those parts that we pushed away can come back, and authenticity and being yourself and living your life. That's about as watered down as we can make it.
Absolutely. Mitch, why do you think people are so afraid of being themselves?
Well, the world has told us that that's not allowed, that, we have to please others and that we have to be perfect and we can't mess up. And if we do, you should be shamed and punished. And, that makes us hide ourselves and hide our emotions, and we stuff things down. We do it so quick. It's so unconscious. We don't even know we're doing it. And when we don't allow ourselves to be ourselves, that's what makes us sick.
Absolutely. I've gotten to the point, I'm 52, and I'm just like, you know what? I really don't care. You like me, you don't like me. If I'm not your cup of tea, well, that's good. Just go. There's other teas out there. There's other coffees out there. Go and enjoy them, right? Just enjoy life.
Sure. Help me eliminate those people out of my life too. I mean, I don't expect everybody to like me, and man, it's a whole lot better when you don't have to perform all the time and put a lot of pressure on yourself to be perfect.
Right? The performance, it gets overwhelming, and it gets, people are just like, what's real, what's not real anymore. And I'm just like, I just want real. Like, I just want to have a normal conversation. Yeah. I just want to know that when I look across the screen, that there's another human being in front of me. It's not content. It's not entertainment. It's a person to person conversation.
Yeah. 100%. I'm with you there, Miss Liz.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your podcast, because your podcast is pretty cool. How did you come up with your podcast?
That's kind of funny. So it's Rooted Conversation. I'm on YouTube, all listening platforms. I do clips all over social media. And I had a business coach about a year and a half ago, and I was dealing with a lot of symptoms and stuck in bed and very frustrated with that. And we just decided that we're going to do 15 minutes a day. And started with posting, and I love Joe Rogan. I kind of think of myself as like a Joe Rogan of the healing world, and I love that he just has people on that he's interested in. And you can love Joe or hate Joe. I think he's great. I don't agree with everything he says, but I love that he just has people on that he's interested in talking to and loves going down rabbit holes and connecting with people. That's a big value for me, and helping other people in the process is great. And that gave me an outlet to bring people on that knew more than me, could teach me stuff. And it grew. I just finished my first season, 35 episodes, and taking a little break this summer, trying to take some of my own medicine so I don't get burnt out. I could notice it was getting, I love the I'm sure you understand it. I love the podcasting and the conversation, but the back end stuff and, editing and putting everything up and, clips is just getting a little bit overwhelming. And this summer, first summer, I've actually felt good in, 20 years. And I'm like, I'm going to go to the beach and go have some beers with my buddies and have a good time and lay out in the sun. And so I'm doing that this summer, and I'm going to get it cranked back up in the fall. And it started with 15 minutes of getting out of bed. And the first couple episodes, like I was in such bad shape, dealing with anxiety and fatigue. And but as I did that for like a year, I think I maybe just shared my last episode, probably, I think last month or something like that. I love it. It's just fun. It's a conversation. It's just like chatting with you, great questions, and it's fun to connect with somebody else that's interested, has like-minded ideas, and just getting this work out there. And certainly my ideas changed quite a bit. The way that I look at health and healing is way different than it has been, and I'll continue to do that. I don't know where I'll be in a couple of years, but I know that I'll be enjoying my life and doing the things that I love, and that's the medicine.
Well, congratulations on the 35 episodes. I was told 7 years ago, if you do past 10, you're considered a podcaster. And I was like, oh, okay. So what did you guys call me? Because I got over 700 here. Like,
you're a pro, girlfriend.
This year I feel it, because it's the back end work that nobody sees, right? With a podcast. Yeah. The interview is the easy part. That's the easy part, but it's all of the marketing, all that good stuff that's in the background that nobody sees. That is, it burns you out. I burnt out last year. I took off almost 8 months, and then I came back, and and I came back this year, and the doctors are just saying, you got to slow down again. And I was just like, I don't want to slow down. Like I'm one of those persons, right? Like just go, 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 go. Yeah. But the body is telling you to slow down. So.
Yeah, I think I got some good advice from other people. I'd love to hear your opinion, but they said, hey, when the body starts take some of your own medicine, the body starts talking to you, telling to slow down. You're not looking forward to this episode, or it feels forced. Take that break, take the time off. And I've got a big lineup of people that are going to be coming on in, I think, October that I'm already starting to get excited from it. But this is the first week actually that I haven't had to promote anything or do anything in the back end. And I'm just like, damn, I'm going to go lay out in the sun for an hour before I hop on with Miss Liz. And that sounds freaking awesome. That's what I
need. We just bought a camper, so I've been enjoying that. The birds and just a nice quiet coffee in the morning with no noise, just the quietness, right? Taking that time just to breathe, because there is so much work that goes on in behind the back ends of podcasting. And I all the listeners, I wish they would see some of the back end work and then say, oh, okay, we're not just tuning into a 1 hour show. We're not just tuning into 15 minutes. We're tuning into a lot of work that's been put together.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit because you have some quizzes on your site that I found. So could you tell us a little bit about the quizzes? The one that I found was take the test for the nervous system state. What is that about?
That is my old one. I have phased that one out. I don't like that anymore. Here's why. So when I first learned about the nervous system, I was really into polyvagal theory, and that's like trying to understand the state, right? And my mentor was really big on describing that perfectly. And a lot of the people in the group, what I saw, and myself included, was just trying to figure out what kind of state am I in all the time and how to regulate out of that. And for me, that's fixing and trying to figure out. And I could give a shit about what state my nervous system in. It's always changing. And so I had to put that down. I think it was reinforcing some of the patterns of perfection for me. Not to say that can't be helpful for people, and I certainly understand the value of that when it comes to working with someone. But that's for me in my head, not to teach someone how to constantly monitor themselves. And so I've phased that out. And now I'd love to share it with you in your group. It came out this week, and it's more about why am I healing and I still don't feel good or something like that. And it's just showing people that they're making their healing job, or they're healing a full-time job, and treating themselves like a project to be fixed. And it's a 2-minute quiz to kind of understand that and see some of the patterns that I see that are keeping people stuck. And then at the end, there's an opportunity to see that, to get some results, to understand what's keeping you stuck, and then give you an opportunity to reach out for me for one-on-one coaching.
So what do you enjoy the most? One-on-one coaching, workshops, interviews? What do you enjoy doing the most?
One-on-one coaching for sure. I mean, it's really hard to make blanket statements for people and say, like, this is what works. I mean, that's what social media wants, but that ain't how it works in real life. It's very ambiguous. It's not even like sequential orders. Like guys, I work with a lot of guys, and I heal like the women is what I understand, because all the groups that I've been in for healing have been with women. And women are ambiguous. They kind of pick this up and and that's what healing is. The guys like more, I want step one, kind of like lifting weights, like progressive overload. Like you're going to do 2.5 pounds this week and 5 the next week. Like they like that. I can make it seem like that. But what I enjoy is really connecting with the person and understanding what's going on, building a relationship, a rapport, holding space and meeting them where they're at, and just working through whatever's here today, not necessarily going into the past or giving them another protocol or thing to be working on. It's all just awareness, and can I see the patterns? And that is one of the most powerful things that people can see, is how they are, because it's unconscious. How are they relating to themselves and their symptoms and their day, their environment, the people they're around? And when we can see that, we can grieve that, we can be angry at that, we can let the fear come up, and that's what we want to work with. And that's where the magic is. And then go back and live your life, and watching someone get that, and get better and get the help that they've been looking for when they have been working so hard for so long, when they can just kind of put the sword down and quit fighting themselves and just start living their life. and work through whatever comes up as we do that. Like, that is a beautiful thing. And it's really hard to do in a group. I do have a group that I will be doing because it's hard. It's, it's expensive to do this type of work. And I want to make it more accessible for people. And so I'm going to be doing some group coaching for like $49-$50 a month, coming up. And we're going to do bi-weekly calls and get in and heal in a group. That's so powerful because I've been in some good groups, and we think we're the only one dealing with it, or like we're a needle in a haystack, and we're all connected. It's all the same. And so it's the same thing over and over again. And once you can see it, you can hear other people, and you can see what they're going through, and you can relate to that and have a community that you can talk to. Like, we heal in connection with ourselves and with other people. Doing it alone and isolated. I thank God for at-home courses and things like that. I think I may do something like that eventually as well. But again, it's just hard to help the individual and make blanket statements. Like, everybody's so different and so similar. And so the one-on-one is super helpful, and the group can be too.
Well, Mitch, you mentioned something. Most of the women, you work mostly with women.
I healed, like, my healing work, my mentorship, and the groups that I've been in. I mean, in the healing world, it's mostly women. Sorry, guys. We just, guys they don't see it like, they're not as willing and ready to do the work, or it's more like awareness. Like, they don't know that that's what's going on. They want to optimize and, work harder and, fix it. And that works until it doesn't. You got the David Goggins of the world. And I will say there is some tough love involved too when it comes to this work. Like, sometimes, I'm not a therapist, so I can kind of tell you what I think sometimes, and when they're ready for it, and be willing to show people the things that they're not able to see yet, very gently. That has to be done correctly. But it's a blend of everything. It's everything that I've learned. And yeah, I would say I heal like a girl. But here's the thing. Guys are actually just as sensitive and just as emotionally aware and tuned in and sensitive as the ladies when they allow themselves to be, when they're actually willing to be vulnerable. That is a superpower for the guys to be able to do that. And that's something I learned with the girls. I was in a group with Irene Lyon, who I love and respect. And, I was dealing with a lot, and I was stopped working in the group. It was like me and like 50 women and like 1 or 2 guys. And I was shutting down. So my body, what that looks like is like I was numb and kind of detached and anxious and fatigued and couldn't sleep and in my head a lot after some calls, because those are meant to trigger you. It's meant to bring stuff up, some of the things we were doing. And I was overwhelmed and I didn't know what was going on. And so I finally just said, like, hey, here's what's going on with me, and I'm struggling, and I don't know if I can do this course. And all the girls were like, yeah, us too. That's exactly what's going on. So that was healing for me, to be able to be authentic, to be myself, to share how I was feeling, and to not be met with, suck it up and don't be a bitch, rub some dirt on it kind of thing. And they were like, hell yeah, like, we're feeling the same way, and that's normal, and we're here for you, and what do you need? And it's all good. And I'm like, okay, it's all good. And that was a big healing moment for me. And so I love when I can bring that to guys that are kind of, in their shell and closed off. And again, it's all about awareness and slowly seeing some of these patterns and being willing to meet them in a different way.
Well, I've heard from a lot of other coaches that males feel more comfortable being coached with a woman, and women feel more comfortable being coached by a male. It's funny how we go to the opposite sex to go for healing coaching. Like, because I feel more comfortable working with a male when it comes to my healing journey.
Huh. Yeah, I work with that's my marketing thing.
I find women are evil. Like, I'm a woman, and I'm just like, you guys are evil, man. You guys are mean.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my thing. I mean, it's a marketing thing. When I work with, it's probably 50-50. I work 50, but I really try to put it out there for the guys, because that's my journey and that's who I've been. And I really want to help guys. I like working with them. Girls are fun too. I mean, sometimes more fun because they're more open, but I love broing out and being silly and doing that with the guys too. It's everybody's just people and humans, and everybody. Most of the people that resonate with my stuff, they're just like me. It's kind of crazy, and we have a good time.
Yeah. I know for myself, I prefer a male coach because I just find girls evil. Like I tell that to my kids all the time. I'm a woman, and oh my God, some of you are really like, ooh, like you're tough, man.
Yeah, it makes me think of the movie Mean Girls. I thought that was pretty
right?
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're not helping. You're just being mean. Like get out of here. Or like, so Mitch, what services do you offer, and where can people find you and all that good stuff? If you could just spell out your website for all the audio listeners.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Miss Liz. My website is mitchwebb.com. I am on all social media platforms, pretty active there. At @KMitchWebb is my handle on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. My podcast is Rooted Conversations. If you go to my website or you reach out to me online, shoot me an email on any of the services. If you can get in, quiz is probably a good place to start. Hopefully we can put that in the show notes or something like that. And once you got the results, there's an opportunity to chat with me. I offer a free 30-minute consultation to anybody that's interested. I'm not here to sell or push. And it's just if it resonates and you feel like we both feel like we'd be a good fit to work together. And then I'm open to that. And that's mitchwebb.com, and my website and social media is probably the best place to find me. And one-on-one services is my thing. And then I'm going to have this group thing coming out. I'd say by August. It's July, the middle of July as we record this. I think by August I'll be doing that.
So August this year or next year?
This year, 2026.
Because August is just around the corner. We've already done the 7 months in this year. I can't believe how fast it's gone.
I know. It's been a fast year.
So Mitch, what message do you hope listeners remember after today's conversation?
Oh, quit making healing your full-time job. Go live your life. Like whatever the thing is that you have been wishing that you could do, if you didn't have chronic symptoms, you weren't dealing with anxiety or gut issues or fatigue or insomnia, what would you do? And it's like, take the trip, go lift the weights, go hang out with the friends, go have the beer and the pizza, like go do the things that aren't healthy that you're afraid of, go hang out with your wife, go on vacation. Like that's the thing to do. Whatever that is, whatever pops into your head, the first thing, that's what I want you to do this week. And do it with the symptoms. The symptoms are going to be there. That's okay. Take it with you. Come up with a funny name, like, I don't know, soda can. If every time you're feeling that feeling in your body, oh, the soda can's here. And okay, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling this fatigue. And I'm going to go lift the weights. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to be fine. And as we do that, that is one of the best things you can do for your nervous system to teach safety and build capacity to be with these sensations. And every time when we can relate to them in a different way, when we teach our body that they're safe, the symptoms don't have to get our attention anymore because we are safe.
Well, thank you so much, Mitch. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you and sitting down and having this conversation with all the listeners out there. Thank you guys for joining in. All the Jeffs that joined in, it was a Jeff day, I guess. There was like 3 or 4, a few Jeffs that popped in the studio. So thank you for all of that incredible work. I just want to thank everybody, and we'll be back at 7 p.m. and we'll do this all over again. But before we wrap up, we're just going to do a little recap of what today's tea time was, and then I'll see everybody at 7 p.m. What an incredible, grounding, and insightful conversation we've shared today. Mitch, thank you for bringing your authenticity, knowledge, and compassion to the tea time table. Today's conversation reminded us that our bodies are not broken, they are communicating. We explored burnout, chronic stress, nervous system regulation, emotional wellness, and the importance of moving beyond temporary solutions towards lasting healing. One of today's greatest takeaways is this: healing isn't about doing more, it is about becoming more aware. Your journey shows us that when we stop fighting our bodies and begin listening with curiosity instead of judgment, we create space for restoration, resilience, and the genuine transformation. You reminded us that our nervous system influences every part of our lives, from our relationships and emotions to our energy, focus, and overall well-being. As we close today's tea time, I'd like to leave everybody with this thought. When was the last time you truly listened to what your body was trying to tell you? Sometimes the symptoms we want to silence are actually invitations to slow down, reconnect, and begin healing from the inside out. Thank you, Mitch, for reminding us that wellness isn't about perfection. It is about presence. Until next time, continue listening to your body, continue choosing healing over hustle, and continue serving real life tea, truth, experience, awareness, one conversation at a time. And today's takeaway was your body is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. When you learn to listen instead of resist, healing becomes less about fixing yourself and more about rediscovering who you were designed to be. And I'll see everybody at 7 p.m. and we'll do this all over again.